If you agree, I will speak rather in English because we have a mix of English speaking, French speaking, Spanish speaking und Deutsch. Natürlich können Sie die Fragen in Ihrer Sprache stellen und wir werden versuchen, die zu beantworten. Und dann können wir auch nach der Konferenz noch in der jeweiligen Landessprache versuchen zu korrespondieren. Je vous propose que je vais parler en anglais, mais après la présentation, on peut encore se voir. Si vous en avez des questions, on peut discuter en français si vous le souhaitez. And I think after this presentation we can sit together and we can have a discussion, and we will of course be glad to answer questions. First of all, when we met Uli Steck about 2.5 years ago, we immediately understood this guy is different. I usually say he's crazy. And when we discussed about his ideas and his intentions and his plans, we sometimes thought it's impossible. And this is exactly what Uli is. When he wants something, he dedicates everything, all his efforts, all his time and energy, just to reach the target he has in mind. There was this Eiger, the north face of the Eiger in the Swiss Alps. Uli is living very nearby. He has climbed the Eiger in 2 days as normal people do, and then in 1 day, and then one day he tried to really be fast, because the record was something about 5 hours. So Uli tried to be faster, and actually he did it in 4 hours and a couple of minutes. So he was faster. He had a record, but on top of the hill, or of the mountain, he was not happy, because he knew he could do better. He knew this, he felt it. Despite he won a record, he was not happy. He dedicated 1 full year just to training, to get better, to get physically stronger, to have a different diet. He went to the high school for sport in Switzerland to get all his body checked and analyzed. One target. He wanted to be the fastest man running or climbing up the Eiger North face. But not only the fastest, he wanted to be as fast as he could be. He dedicated everything, and even when he went up the Eiger one day together with his wife-to-be, with his fiancée, on a 2-day trip, with sleeping in the Eiger North face, he went up and he cleaned every little rock and he analyzed the possibilities where he could be faster in order not to do any savings. He wanted to go without rope, because every time he needed the rope, he lost time. 2 days after this, or 3 days after the trip with his wife, he actually went and he tried, and he succeeded in climbing the Eiger North face in 2 hours, 47 minutes, and these famous 33 seconds. One target and 100% dedicated. When we started to discuss with Uli about a knife, he said, of course I need a knife. But when a climber needs a knife, it has to be very light, it has to cut ropes, sausages, food, open cans, sharpen my crampons, sharpen my ice axe. It has to be able to help me to screw the ice axe and the crampons. Hey, Uli, stop. You're talking of a toolbox. And then you say light. We have a problem. We have a giant knife. Some of you know it. It's big like this. You can have this, and you have every tool. But we got serious about this, and weight, multifunctionality, reliability, because his life could depend on the use of the knife. And it must perform. It must be possible to open the blade or the main tools even when you have gloves, because it's very cold in the mountains, so the gloves. These are all these different things we had in mind when talking with him. And one evening after the dinner, we started again to talk about this knife, and we put a couple of lines on the napkin, actually on the table. And immediately, of course you see I'm not a designer, but the idea came, we needed to do something with the blade. If we want to add all these functions, we needed to work the blade. The blade is a big piece of steel in the Swiss Army knife, no other function than just cutting. So we are wasting opportunities. And After this dinner, we got back home and we talked to our engineers, and we worked for almost 2 years now. And the result is this blade. Yes, we really worked with the blade. And we had to make the blade a different look because we wanted to add hexagonal keys. We needed to be able to work the keys that you find on the axis, on crampons, and we have even a flat screwdriver in there. And we have two different blade cuttings. We have a serrated blade and we have a normal blade. The one is for emergency cutting of nylon ropes, and the other part is for cutting bread, sausage, cheese, the things that you like to do and the things that you need to do because you're in an emergency situation in the mountain. The blade is such that you can open it even when you wear a glove. The blade is such you can open it with one hand. The blade also is of course security locked. It cannot fall, because if you're in an emergency situation, you open the blade and you want to cut the rope, if the blade falls, you hurt yourself instead of free yourself. We, based on the experience we have from the Ranger product, decided to go for the button with the Swiss Cross logo to unlock the blade again. So that's another system. But not only this, we have also the line lock to unlock the blade. So we have two possibilities to unlock the blade. So there is always a possibility for the user of this knife in an emergency situation to unlock the blade again and put it away. This is the maximum function we could put on a blade. The result, the final result, is a knife that has 16 functions, like a small toolbox, in 100 grams. But it is not only this, it is also very solid, because we decided to use a blade that is double the thickness of a Swiss Army knife, because we want to use it as a wrench, we want to use it as a screwdriver, it has to be thicker. We decided also to use metal scales, but stainless steel is too heavy, so we are going to use, or we use, titanium. And in order to have even more functions, we added the hex bits for Phillips, screwdriver or other tools. Of course, these bits, you go to any hardware shop and you buy the bits for whatever use you are looking for. This knife can be used in climbing, trekking, snowshoe tours, mountain tours with skis, but also on mountain biking tours. Whenever you need a maximum functionality with the lowest weight possible, this tool can really help you out because of its flexibility and multifunctionality. Because of the metal scales, it is also extremely solid. The safety lock system with the Swiss Cross, the wenger emblem as the safety, as the unlock system, of course, is our invention. We have proven in the Ranger knife it works. Here we have it again. Of course, we added the can opener. A lot of food in the mountains is canned. You need this. Of course, we have a cap lifter. Maybe you want to drink a beer also. And there's a lot of useful things. The metal file and the metal saw. Another important tool when you work with metal. Maybe you need to sharpen again the crampons or the ice axe. This tool was built to the standard of Uli Steck, whose life depends on the material he's using. And if it's good for Uli Steck, it will be good for everybody who is looking for a knife that is not heavy but offers a lot of functions, is small and can be used for many, many activities. We have then said, okay, we have the Uli Steck special edition knife, but not everybody needs the 3 lines, so we decided also to offer the blade only version with, of course, the beads. And we have the version with a wooden saw and all these functionalities on the blade. All of these versions have the same titanium scales and have, of course, the bit holder. The bit holder is, again, an invention we made in the Ranger. We have tested it. It works very well. For this smaller version, it was quite a challenge for the engineers to find the place, how to hold it. But it is working very well. We have tested it. Uli is using his knife for about 9 months now. Of course, prototype, and then it's always got better, nicer looking, but it works. If we talk about the titanium tool with the wooden saw, we have 11 functions and 82 grams. Again, with a double thick blade and the metal scales made out of titanium. And the one-line version with the blade only is 70 grams and still offers 10 functions. So it's quite a toolbox in a very limited space. Together with the knife, we have a pouch made out of nylon in a soft touch, almost like a neoprene. There is space for 3 bits. There is a space for the knife, of course, and it can be put to a belt or it can be put into a pocket. For the Uli Steck Special Edition, we have created a special packaging. The special packaging is signed by Uli Steck. It shows the 3 mountains. He actually holds the record for the fastest climbing of the North Faces, with some information regarding these mountains. In this packaging, you find, of course, the knife, of course, the pouch, 2 bits, but also the DVD. And the DVD contains the film, a movie, 23 minutes of the Speed Trilogy. It's a movie that shows you how Uli Steck actually climbs these mountains. A little bit of it you have seen just before in